So now that naintindihan na natin that modern accident prevention must address unsafe acts, unsafe conditions, and organizational failures together, let's start with the first one. How do we prevent unsafe acts? Kasi kung unsafe behavior is one of the causes of accidents, then dapat malinaw din kung paano natin ito mababawasan in a practical way. This slide explains how to prevent unsafe acts by reducing human error and unsafe behavior. At ang unang approach dito is proper training and orientation. Ibig sabihin, ang workers dapat tinuturuan ng correct procedures, safe work practices, workplace rules, at tamang response sa hazards and emergencies. Kasi hindi pwedeng i-expect natin na safe ang behavior ng worker kung kulang naman ang training or hindi malinaw ang instruction. At importante ring tandaan na hindi enough ang one-time training lang. Why? Because safety knowledge can fade over time, makalimutan, maging outdated, or hindi na ma-apply ng tama kapag walang refresher. That is why kailangan din ng refresher training. Kasi kahit dati nang na-train ang worker, pwede pa ring bumalik ang unsafe habits kung hindi na-reinforce ang safe way of working. Now, the second approach is behavioral safety programs. Ito naman ay programs or activities that help shape and strengthen safe behavior in the workplace. Kasama dito ang reporting of unsafe behavior, recognition of safe behavior, at correction of risky actions. At very important ang mindset dito. The goal is not to shame workers. Hindi ito para ipahiya ang tao. Hindi rin ito para puro sermon lang. Ang goal is to guide workers toward safer habits. For example, sabihin natin, may workers na paulit-ulit na ini-ignore ang evacuation drills. Ang wrong approach doon is puro sigaw lang o scolding lang. Pero ang better OSH approach is ipaliwanag kung bakit mahalaga ang drill. Siguraduhin na pati supervisors ay sumasali at seryoso sa participation i-correct ang maling behavior during the drill. At ay recognize ang teams na maayos sumunod sa procedure. Kasi kapag nakikita ng workers na malinaw ang reason behind the rule, consistent ang leadership, may correction at may positive reinforcement, mas tumitibay ang safe behavior. So ang key lesson ng slide na ito is preventing unsafe acts requires worker-focused action. Ibig sabihin, ang workers need knowledge, motivation, correction, and support. Hindi sapat na sabihan lang sila na huwag gawin yan. Mas effective kapag naiintindihan nila ang reason behind the rule, may tamang training sila, may refresher, may feedback, at may leaders na consistent sa pag-reinforce ng safe practices. Kasi safety behavior improves when workers understand the purpose of the rule and when leaders consistently show that safety matters in actual work. This slide continues the discussion on how to prevent unsafe acts. Kasi ang totoo, hindi sapat na may training lang once tapos bahala na pagkatapos. Kailangan may daily reinforcement sa actual work environment. At dito, very important ang role ng supervisors. Supervisors play a major role in shaping worker behavior because sila ang pinakamalapit sa actual work. Sila ang nagmo-monitor ng trabaho, gumagabay sa tamang procedure, nagko-correct ng unsafe actions, at nagre-reinforce ng safety expectations. So in simple terms, ang supervisor ang tumutulong para maging part ng araw-araw na trabaho ang safety, hindi lang part ng seminar. Now, isipin natin ito, kapag ang supervisor ay nakakakita ng unsafe behavior pero ini-ignore lang, ano ang possible effect? Usually, iisipin ng worker, okay lang pala ito, wala namang sumisita. Ginagawa rin naman ng iba, mukhang accepted lang ito, at doon nagsisimulang ma-normalize ang unsafe acts. Pero kung ang supervisor ay consistent sa coaching and correction, iba ang effect. Doon nakikita ng workers na ang safety ay hindi optional at hindi rin side issue lang. Nagiging part siya ng actual work standards. So ang point dito is, what supervisors tolerate, workers may repeat. And what supervisors consistently correct, workers are more likely to improve. Now, hindi lang supervision ang mahalaga dito. Important din ang motivation and engagement. Bakit? Kasi workers are more likely to follow safety rules kapag nararamdaman nila na sila ay involved, respected, supported, at hindi lang pinapagalitan. Kapag ang safety ay puro punishment ang dating, may tendency ang workers na itago ang mistakes, hindi mag-report ng near miss, umiwas magsabi ng concern, o sumunod lang kapag may nakatingin. Pero, kapag ang safety ay naipapakita as protection, teamwork, concern for people, at shared responsibility, mas mataas ang chance na mag-participate ang workers. Mas willing silang mag-report ng hazard, magtanong, tumanggap ng correction, sumali sa drills, at tumulong sa safe work practices. So very important ang slide na ito because it teaches us that preventing unsafe acts is not only about discipline. Yes, discipline matters, pero hindi doon nagtatapos ang solution. Preventing unsafe acts is also about leadership, communication, coaching, motivation, and engagement. Ibig sabihin, kung gusto nating mabago ang unsafe behavior, kailangan hindi lang tayo nag-uutos. Kailangan marunong din tayong magpaliwanag, mag-guide, mag-correct ng maayos, magpakita ng magandang example, at mag-build ng safety first mindset. At yung safety first mindset, hindi yan nabubuo sa isang memo lang. Nabubuo yan kapag consistent ang message ng leaders at nararamdaman ng workers na ang safety ay seryoso, practical, at para sa kapakanan nila. This slide shifts the focus from worker behavior to physical hazards. Kapag sinabing preventing unsafe conditions, ang ibig sabihin nito ay inaalis natin o kinokontrol natin ang actual hazards na nasa workplace. In simple terms, hindi lang natin sinasabihan ang workers na mag-ingat kayo. Mas mahalaga na tinatanong din natin, may hazard ba sa paligid na ayusin o i-control bago pa may maaksidente? Dito, very important ang regular inspections and maintenance. Bakit? Kasi sa pamamagitan ng maayos na inspection, mas maaga natin nakikita ang equipment defects, unsafe materials, faulty machines, poor lighting, ventilation issues, ergonomic problems, at iba pang unsafe conditions. At kapag nakita ng maaga ang hazard, may chance na makorek ito before pa mag-cause ng accident. Iyan ang goal ng prevention. Hindi tayo naghihintay na may matrap muna bago i-clear ang exit. Now, aside from inspection and maintenance, very important din ang housekeeping and environmental controls. Ito yung mga practical day-to-day safety controls sa workplace. For example, dapat clear ang walkways, properly stored ang materials, dry ang floors, organize ang cables, accessible ang emergency exits, at maayos ang arrangement ng work areas para safe ang movement ng tao sa office environment. Very common itong issue na ito. In fact, poor housekeeping is one of the most common causes ng slips, trips, falls, blocked exits, fire loading at evacuation problems. Minsan simple lang ang tingin dito ng tao. Medyo magulo lang naman, may ilang kahon lang naman sa gilid, may cable lang naman sa daanan. Pero sa OSH, hindi natin minamaliit ang ganitong conditions. Kasi, iyong simpleng obstruction o poor arrangement pwedeng maging direct cause ng incident, especially during busy work, rush movement, or emergency evacuation. So, ang importanteng message ng slide na ito is this: a clean and organized workplace is not only visually pleasing, it is a safety control. Napaka-importante niyan. Ibig sabihin, housekeeping is not just about neatness, it is about preventing injury, fire risk, evacuation delay, equipment exposure, at unsafe movement. Preventing unsafe conditions is hazard focus. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang tayo nakatingin sa tao, tinitingnan natin ang hazard itself at tinatanong, pwede ba itong ayusin? Pwede ba itong i-control? Pwede ba itong i-report ng mas maaga? Kasi yon ang mas strong safety approach. Hindi lang be careful. Mas maganda ang let's remove the hazard so people can work more safely. So now that napag-usapan na natin ang role ng inspections, maintenance, housekeeping, and environmental controls in preventing unsafe conditions, let's add two more very important tools in modern OSH: engineering controls and HIRA. Kasi kung gusto nating mas maging effective ang prevention, hindi sapat na marunong lang tayong makakita ng hazard. Kailangan marunong din tayong mag-design ng safer workplace at mag-assess ng risks bago pa magkaroon ng incident. This slide explains two more ways to prevent unsafe conditions. The first one is engineering controls. Kapag sinabing engineering controls, ito yung mga physical improvements or design changes sa workplace na tumutulong para mabawasan ang exposure ng workers sa hazard. Sa madaling salita, ang hazard hindi lang nire-remindan, binabawasan o kinokontrol mismo through the workplace setup. Sa office or service workplace, pwedeng examples nito ang ergonomic furniture, cable management systems, slip-resistant floors. proper lighting, better ventilation, fire protection systems, access control, at machine guards where equipment is used. Halimbawa, kung laging may loose cable sa floor, pwedeng sabihan ng workers na mag-ingat, pero mas strong ang solution kung may cable management system na talaga para hindi na siya maging trip hazard. Pero mas effective pa rin kung may slip-resistant flooring or mas improved na floor treatment. Kung maraming workers ang nagrereklamo ng body pain, pwedeng sabihan silang umupo ng maayos. Pero mas strong ang control kung may ergonomic chairs, adjustable tables, and better workstation design. So ang key idea ng engineering controls is make the workplace safer by design. Now the second one is hazard identification and risk assessment or HIRAC. Ito naman ay process ng pag-check sa workplace for potential hazards before pa sila maging cause ng accident. Very important yan kasi proactive approach ito. Ibig sabihin, instead na maghintay tayo, critical fire, i-check na natin kung may overloaded outlets. Instead na maghintay tayo ng complaints about back pain, i-assess na natin ang workstation ergonomics. So ang HIRAC ay hindi reaction pagkatapos ng incident. Ito ay advanced thinking before the incident. Sa HIRAC, ang mindset natin is, anong hazards dito? Sino ang pwedeng maapektuhan? Gaano kalaki ang risk? Ano ang existing controls? Ano pa ang dapat idagdag or i-improve? At napaka-importante na itong point na ito, safety must be built into the workplace. Kasi kung ang workplace design itself ay unsafe, mananatili pa rin ang risk kahit maingat ng workers. For example, kung masikip ang daanan, kung pangit ang lighting, kung hindi ergonomic ang workstation, kung exposed ang cables, kung mahina ang ventilation, kung kulang ang fire protection. Kahit careful ang workers, may risk pa rin. So the stronger OSH approach is not only to tell people to be careful, but to make the workplace itself safer. That is why a strong OSH program uses both engineering controls and regular risk assessment. Kasi ang dalawang ito nagtutulungan. HIRAC helps us find and evaluate the hazard. Engineering controls help us physically reduce or control the hazard. Now that napag-usapan na natin how to prevent unsafe acts and how to control unsafe conditions, the next level of prevention is this. How do we prevent organizational failures? Kasi kung mahina ang system, kahit anong training ng workers at kahit anong ayos ng equipment, pwede pa ring bumalik ang same safety problems. Dito na pumapasok ang role ng leadership commitment at safety culture development. This slide moves the discussion to the system-focused level of accident prevention. Ibig sabihin, hindi na lang tayo nakatingin sa worker or sa physical hazard. Tinitingnan na natin ang mas malalim na tanong, ano ang ginagawa ng leadership at ano ang klaseng safety culture meron ang organization. The first part is leadership commitment. Kapag sinabing leadership commitment, ibig sabihin ang top management, managers, and supervisors ay hindi lang nagsasalita tungkol sa safety. Pinapakita rin nila ito sa actual behavior at decisions. Napaka-importanteng point yan kasi ang workers nakatingin lagi sa ginagawa ng leaders. Kung ang management ay binabalewala ang safety, laging mas priority ang bilis kaysa safety, hindi nagfo-follow up ng reported hazards, hindi sumasali sa drills, hindi sumusuporta sa corrective actions, malamang iisipin din ng workers na hindi naman pala ganun ka-importante ang safety. Okay lang pala i-ignore. Compliance lang siguro ito. Pero kung ang management ay supportive sa training, seryoso sa inspections, present sa emergency drills, nagpapakorek ng hazards, nakikinig sa worker concerns, at consistent sa enforcement ng safety rules, mas lumalakas ang safety system. So ang lesson dito is simple. Workers observe what leaders do. Hindi sapat na ang leaders ay magsabi lang ng safety first. Kailangan nakikita rin yon sa actual decisions, actions, and priorities. Now, the second part is safety culture development. Kapag sinabing safety culture, ito yung klase ng workplace mindset at daily practice pagdating sa safety. Ang strong safety culture means safety is treated as normal part of work, shared responsibility, daily priority, at hindi lang compliance requirement. Ibig sabihin, ang safety hindi lang binabanggit kapag may audit, inspection, o incident. Nasa araw-araw na trabaho siya. A strong safety culture encourages open communication about hazards, reporting of unsafe conditions, reporting of near misses, raising safety concerns, and worker participation in prevention. At very important dito, workers should feel safe to report report. Ibig sabihin, dapat walang takot na mapahiya, masisi agad, mapagalitan o ma-retaliate. Kasi kung takot ang workers magsabi ng hazard or near miss, maraming problema ang hindi maayos ng maaga. Kapag strong ang culture, mas willing ang workers na magsabi ng may exposed wire dito, may block exit sa area, may unsafe shortcut na ginagawa, may problem sa workstation, may near miss na nangyari kanina. At yan ang gusto natin sa modern OSH. Yung workplace na hindi nagtatago ng problema, kundi ina-address ito ng maaga. That is why this slide is very important. Because safety culture may start at the top, but it must be practiced by everyone. Ibig sabihin, leaders must model it, supervisors must reinforce it, workers must participate in it, and the organization must support it consistently. A company cannot build a strong OSH culture if safety is only discussed during audits, inspections, or after an accident. Safety must be visible in daily decisions. For example, pag may worker concern, pinakikinggan ba? Kapag may unsafe shortcut, kinokorek ba? Kapag may training need, sinusuportahan ba? Kapag may emergency drill, seryoso ba ang participation? Diyan nakikita kung real ba ang safety culture o compliance lang. So now that napag-usapan na natin how leadership commitment and safety culture help prevent organizational failures, the next important point is this: hindi sapat na may good intentions lang. Kailangan may effective OSH program talaga at kailangan ding i-address ang psychosocial hazards. Kasi minsan, ang organization mukhang okay on paper, pero sa actual work setup, may workload pressure, burnout, fatigue, at stress na pwede ring magpahina sa safety system. This final slide explains that organizational failures can also be prevented through effective OSH programs and by addressing psychosocial hazards. Unahin natin ang effective OSH program. Kapag sinabing effective OSH program, hindi ito simpleng document lang na nakafile sa office. Hindi rin ito checklist lang para may maipakita during inspection. A good OSH program should include safety policies, emergency procedures, training programs, hazard identification, risk assessment, inspection systems, incident reporting, corrective actions, health programs at worker participation. So sa madaling salita, ang OSH program should cover both the rules and the actual system for implementation. Pero very important ang reminder dito, a good OSH program is not just a document. It must be implemented, monitored, reviewed, and improved. Ibig sabihin, dapat na i-implement sa actual workplace, dapat minomonitor kung gumagana, dapat nire-review kung may gaps, at dapat ini-improve kapag may findings, incidents, or changing risks. Kasi pwedeng may magandang OSH manual, pero kung walang actual inspection, kulang ang training, walang follow-up sa hazard reports, hindi aware ang workers, o hindi gumagana ang reporting system, then mahina pa rin ang OSH implementation. Now, the second part of the slide is very important, especially sa service industry, and that is psychosocial hazards. Kapag sinabing psychosocial hazards, ito yung mga factors sa way the work is organized na pwedeng makaapekto sa mental well-being, stress level, energy, focus, at overall health ng worker. Examples nito ay heavy workload, burnout, stress, fatigue, mental health concerns, poor support, workplace pressure. At very relevant ito sa service industries kasi maraming workers dito ang exposed sa high workload, deadlines, client pressure, night shift work, emotional demands, performance targets, constant monitoring at fast-paced work expectations. So kahit wala kang obvious physical hazard sa office, pwedeng may serious safety and health risk pa rin kung sobrang taas ng stress at sobrang baba ng recovery and support. Bakit importante ito sa OSH? Kasi kapag ang worker ay sobrang pagod, burnt out, mentally overloaded o under too much pressure, pwede itong magresulta sa poor concentration, more mistakes, unsafe decisions, reduced alertness, emotional strain, absenteeism, at lower overall well-being. So ang psychosocial hazards ay hindi dapat minamaliit. Hindi ito simpleng pagod lang yan or stress lang yan. Sa modern OSH, bahagi ito ng worker protection. Now, what does it mean to address psychosocial hazards? It means the company should monitor workload, prevent burnout, support mental health, promote respectful communication, and make sure that workers are not being harmed by the way work is organized. Napaka-importanting line yan. Workers should not be harmed by the way work is organized. Ibig sabihin, kahit safe ang floor, maayos ang equipment, at malinaw ang procedures, may OSH concern pa rin kung ang work system mismo ay nakakaubos na ng tao physically and mentally. So this final slide reminds us of something very important. OSH is not only about physical hazards. It is also about systems, culture, leadership, and worker well-being. Kaya kung gusto nating maging strong ang OSH implementation, kailangan buo ang approach. Safe ang workplace, maayos ang system. Supportive ang leadership implemented ang program at inaalagaan din ang mental and psychosocial well-being ng workers. So now, to summarize the whole lesson, let's go back to the most important ideas we discussed. First, OSH is a multidisciplinary field. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang ito tungkol sa isang rule, isang person, or isang department. Ang OSH is focused on preventing work-related injuries, preventing occupational diseases, protecting worker health and well-being, and continuously improving workplace safety systems. So sa madaling salita, ang OSH ay hindi lang tungkol sa pag-iwas sa aksidente. Kasama rin dito ang pagprotekta sa kalusugan, pag-aalaga sa well-being ng workers, at pagpapalakas ng buong safety system ng organization. Second, malinaw na sa atin na accidents are not random. Hindi tayo naniniwala sa mindset na nagkataon lang or accident lang yan. Sa OSH, we understand that accidents have causes. At nakita natin na ang causes nito pwedeng manggaling sa tatlong major areas: unsafe acts, unsafe conditions, organizational failures. Ang unsafe acts ay tungkol sa behavior ng worker. Ang unsafe conditions ay tungkol sa hazards sa equipment, materials, at work environment. At ang organizational failures ay tungkol sa deeper weaknesses sa leadership, training, supervision, safety programs, risk assessment, at safety culture. So, ang mahalagang lesson dito is this: kapag may incident, hindi sapat na isang factor lang ang tingnan. Kailangan mas buo ang analysis natin. Third, nakita rin natin na ang modern approach to accident prevention does not focus on blame. It focuses on prevention. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang natin tinatanong sino ang may kasalanan. Mas magandang tanong ay, ano ang unsafe act? Ano ang unsafe condition? May system weakness ba? Ano ang dapat i-correct para hindi na maulit? That is the heart of modern OSH. And now, if there's one key message na gusto ko maiwan sa inyo after this lesson, it is this: accidents are not part of the job. Hazards may be present in the job, yes, pero ang accidents ay hindi dapat tanggapin as normal. Accidents can and must be prevented through proper OSH implementation. And finally, tandaan natin itong very important line: safety is proactive, not reactive. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo naghihintay na may masaktan muna bago kumilos. Hindi tayo naghihintay na may incident muna bago mag-inspect. Hindi tayo naghihintay na may emergency muna bago maghanda. Instead, we identify hazards, we assess risks, we correct unsafe conditions, we guide safe behavior, we strengthen leadership, and we build a culture where safety becomes part of everyday work. So the real goal of OSH is not only compliance. The real goal is to make sure that people can work safely, stay healthy, and go home without being harmed by the workplace.